Hey Facebook, we're trying this for a second time. I've had this weird thing happening on Facebook Live lately where the first time I try to go live, it dies. And so I have to come back for a second. So this is the repeat. Time number 2. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you guys. I'm excited to be here with you today. My name is Jennifer Allwood. I teach women how to create a beautiful home and build their creative business. I'm also having like an 8 on the good hair day scale, I feel like. For those of you who have curly hair, you get this. Like, I feel like we're kind of at an 8. I tried some new products today. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all those products. It was like that Diva No Poo shampoo, so it doesn't lather, you know what I mean? Which is a little weird for a girl who likes suds. But anyway, so enough about the hair. But that's, yeah, whenever you're having a good hair day as a curly haired girl, you go live. It's like the 11th commandment. Okay, I'm just saying. So we're going to talk about a couple of fun things. I did a Facebook Live last night with Damon Oates from Deco Exchange. Who saw it? Just let me know here if you were here. And it was fantastic. Damon was in the middle of doing a wreath video where he had 900 people watching him live. And he literally cut his video and came over to be a guest on mine. And so it was fun. Listen, whenever I do a video like that though, I will inevitably get some questions. People DMing me, sending some emails, that sort of thing. And so there were some things that I just wanted to expand upon if we can, okay? One of them is the fact that I don't like Etsy, all right? So listen, yeah, Lisa, this is our Allwood Family Power Color, and I'm being interviewed in a business group for writers today called Hope Writers, and so I've got to wear Allwood Family Power Color. It's a metal thing. So, okay, listen, y'all, don't send me hate mail. I don't like Etsy, and I'm about to tell you why I don't like Etsy. First of all, if you love Etsy, grace to you. If Etsy is putting tons of dollars in your bank account, grace to you. But you're like the anomaly. You're like the one special one that is having a good time with Etsy, okay? So I'm going to give you some of the pros and the cons, all right? Because some of your brains work like that. Like, remember when you were thinking about breaking up with a guy in middle school, and you're like, write it out on a piece of paper, the pros, you know, to continuing going with that 6th grade dude, and the cons to breaking up with him. You know what I mean? So some of you are prosers and consers. And so we're just going to talk pros and cons of Etsy. Now here's why I want you to break up with Etsy. Okay, you ready? Etsy has rules. Come on, you guys. Etsy is essentially a social media platform / search engine / place where they take a commission from you. Okay? Thank you for sharing this, by the way. To get 600 of you on here live on a Tuesday morning is mwah. I appreciate you. So, okay, so when you have an Etsy account, you guys, they're the boss of you. All right? It's not like you can just go rogue and do what you want on Etsy. No, they have rules. They have terms of service, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, and you've got to abide by those, okay? So that's the number one rule. Why I suggest if you want to have an Etsy account, fine. But you're going to have a website too, okay? So it's Etsy and. It's never just Etsy. It's never just Etsy, okay? There may have been a day for that, but that was a decade ago, and it's no longer. So Etsy has rules. Etsy takes a percentage, okay? Etsy takes a percentage. Why are you giving them some of your money, y'all? Keep that. Your kids are going to need orthodontics. The van's going to need new tires. I want to go on vacation. I'm not giving Etsy a percentage. And how many of you, okay, I'm going to give you one truth and then one thing that's going to sting, okay? So brace yourself on the stinger. But it's going to sting a little. There is a lot of competition on Etsy, okay? You have to do something to stand out in a sea of competitors in Etsy. That's the truth. Here's what's going to sting a little, okay? Here's what's going to sting a little. Oh, I don't know how to say this without just really being snarky, but who looks at Etsy? I don't look at Etsy. I never in a million years go to Etsy. I would love to know if you go to Etsy, because I don't go to Etsy. I go to Pinterest and I do a search for glittered t-shirts on Pinterest. I'll do a search for hashtag glittered t-shirts on Instagram. I will go to Google and type in glittered t-shirts, but I will never go to Etsy. It wouldn't even occur to me. Okay? So when you're sitting down and you're making something, I want you to think of your ideal client, okay? Think of your ideal client. More than likely, she's a girl that She has some discretionary income, okay? That's who you want buying your stuff. She has a little extra money to spend on stuff that isn't a necessity, okay? So she's not scraping by every month. She has the extra $40 to spend on that glitter t-shirt, okay? She is not on Etsy. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. So those are the reasons why I don't like Etsy. Now I'm also going to tell you the reasons why I want you to have your own website. And then we're talking Kenny Rogers, y'all. Kenny Rogers. I got to get out my glasses. Okay, here's why you need your own website. If you want to be on Etsy, fine. Fine. I'll arm wrestle you over this in person if I ever meet you. Website. Okay, when you have your own website, it is yours. It's yours. You don't have to give anybody a piece of your pie. You're keeping a piece of the pie. If you want to use Etsy and then try to get people to buy in the future from you on your website, do that. Do that. But don't just stick to Etsy alone, okay? They're not going to keep a percentage. There are no rules when you have your own site. And listen, for those of you who are listing everything over on Etsy, you're missing out on a ton of traffic on a website that you could be getting paid ad revenue for. Ad revenue for. At noon today in my inner circle, we've got someone coming over to talk about Google Analytics, okay? So if you haven't joined my inner circle yet and Google Analytics is something that trips your trigger, join now, all right? Join now. In fact, this is a good time to put the link in. And so, yeah, you got to do that soon, though, if you want to get in the Facebook group in the next hour. But so Google Analytics basically give you an idea of how people are landing on your website, right? With the whole point in being, how do I get more people to land over on my website? Why do you want people to land on your website? Well, when they land on your website, A, they'll hopefully buy. B, ad revenue. Ad revenue. For those of you who are like, ad revenue. I get $2,000 to $3,000 a month for ad revenue. It pays my mortgage. It pays my mortgage. So listen, I am not wanting to hate on those of you that are having a great time on Etsy. To those of you who are super successful on Etsy. To those of you who are just, you could teach Etsy classes. I've got a girl in my inner circle right now who made 15 grand on Etsy last month. Okay, so for those of you who are doing great on it, I promise you, I'm so happy for you. But for those of you who are like freaking banging your head against the wall because you made 2 sales last month, there is a better way. You need a website. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Okay, second thing I want to talk about, Kenny Rogers. All right, listen. I grew up in Mobile, Iowa with a dad who introduced me to Kenny and Dolly Parton. And I love me some Kenny Rogers and some Dolly and some Merle Haggard, okay? And so we would spend Sunday mornings at our house blaring Kenny. And one of my favorite songs from him is the Gambler song. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You better count your money when you're sitting at the table, right? Okay, does anybody know? Does anybody know the Gambler? Okay, so I want to talk about gambling for a little bit. Thank you, Beth. Beth's in my inner circle. And Beth, we're right here on Kenny, okay? I would go to a Kenny Rogers concert if he still has them. And that's saying a lot because I haven't been to a concert in about a decade. So we're going to talk about gambling for just a little bit, okay? Let me tell you the truth. How many of you in here have a day job? I want to know those of you that are in a 9 to 5 or a 8 to 4 or a 3 to 10 or whatever. For those of you who have a regular, okay, you got a regular job. Every single day that you guys go into that job, do you know you are betting on that employer? You are gambling on the fact that you're still going to have a position when you walk through the door of that place of employment every day. You are totally putting your eggs into the basket. You're putting all your chips into the table, gambling on the fact that there's going to be something in there waiting for you and that you will get a paycheck on Friday. Rhonda finally quit. That a girl. Quitting's not for everyone, but it's for some people, and that's who I'm talking to. When you have a day job, Kenny was your first concert. I love it. I love it. You are literally saying, I'm trusting in you that I still get to come tomorrow and the next day and the next day and that next year and that 5 years and that I'll still have a 401k and that I'll still have PDOs and I'll still have all those things, okay? There is an illusion of security with a day job until you get laid off. Any of you guys been laid off? Listen, Mr. Magic was laid off from a position when the boys were little, right before Christmas. Oh, that was a hard month. That was a hard time for us when we lived on credit cards for a minute, okay? All right, so, and how old? We didn't have Ava yet, and Ava's 10. So 11, 12 years ago, Mr. Magic lost his job. 18 years ago, I lost my job. We were both gambling on the fact that our employers were going to continue to employ us, and we lost that gamble at the end of the day. Okay, at the end of the day. Here's what I want to tell you. For those of you who are gamblers, if you have a side gig that you're like, I totally wish I could do this full time. If you have a hustle that you're doing nights, weekends right now, and you're like, gosh, I wish that I had the guts to quit, to leave the security. Listen, nothing is secure anyway. I'm telling you the truth. Nothing is secure anyway. Nothing on this side of heaven is a guarantee. All right. And so in interviewing Damon last night on my Facebook Live, and we were talking about how he stuck at it at his 9 to 5 for a long time until he got to the point where he's like, okay, I'm going to have a 6-figure month. Like, I can no longer go to that day job. Now, that is not the majority of people's stories. But here is what the majority of the people's stories is. You're going along at your day job, feeling like things are secure, You're working a little side hustle. All of a sudden, this comes a little less secure. Companies laying off, companies going under, they're cutting wages, they're cutting overtime. Girlfriend, pivot. Okay, you've already been doing this thing anyway. I'm not saying you necessarily have to quit, but you better start putting some eggs in this basket, because there is no safer bet than you betting on you. If I'm going to gamble, honey, I'm betting on me. I'm not putting all of my chips on the table for a 9 to 5 that may or may not still have me there tomorrow. No, sir. That happened one time, and that was enough for me. Right, Shabby to Chic? I know that sounds exaggerated. That sounds whatever. But when you go through a layoff, you understand that, wow, I never saw that coming. How many of you have gotten fired, laid off, cut back, whatever, and you never saw it coming because you're gambling on somebody else? I will gamble on me every day of the week before I gamble on somebody else again. That's right, Cindy. # gamble on me. Gamble on you. Absolutely. When you gamble on you and you make your own business and you work your own business and you hustle on that business, you're literally gambling on yourself and the fact that you're not going to lay yourself off. You're not going to cut back your overtime, right? Gamble on yourself, you guys. I'm telling you the truth. There is no safer gamble, because I trust me every day of the week more than I trust somebody employing me. Right, Paulette? That stings when you get laid off and you're like, what the heck? Now, I know what you're worried about. You're worried about now I don't have a 401k. Okay, well, when you are self-employed, there are other things that you have to do, all right? You're worried about health care. I get it. That's the UPS man bringing me a little delivery. I may or may not get a lot of deliveries. We may or may not be on a first name basis. My dog doesn't even bark anymore because he knows. He knows. It's just the delivery guy. So listen, for you gamblers, Kenny Rogers lovers, gamble on yourself. I'm telling you, there's no safer bet than that. Last thing I want to talk about is self-starters. So I was messaging back and forth with somebody yesterday who was asking me if my inner circle is a good fit for them. And by the way, don't think about it too hard, you guys. $47 a month is not worth the going back and forth in your head and back and forth in your head. Like, if I can help you make a decision, great. But if you're really waffling that much, like, I'm not trying to sound uninviting, but my group's probably not for you. It really is not, because here's the deal. If you truly are designed to be an entrepreneur, honestly, then you're going to be a self-starter, and nobody's going to have to push you into a coaching group. They're going to be able to give you just a little bit, sprinkle some of the value of community, learning, content, and you're going to be able to make a quick decision. If you're somebody that really has a hard time making decisions, forcing yourself to jump into things, forcing yourself to leap before you absolutely know where you're going to land, being an entrepreneur is really probably not the best fit for you. I'm telling you the truth. Because when you go to that day gig, you're gambling on that person, right? Well, when you stay and you're going to just put all your eggs in your own basket and become self-employed, you're gambling on you every day. And if you need somebody to get you out of bed in the morning and tell you it's time to sit down and post on Facebook, being an entrepreneur is not for you. If you need somebody to hold your hand and walk you through every single thing that you need to do instead of just going to Google, being an entrepreneur is not for you. I love you, but I'm telling you the truth. Entrepreneurs don't need somebody to stand behind them and poke them into moving. Alicia, thank you for joining last night. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, do you know how there's just some people in your life that are they're kind of unmotivated, and that's okay. Grace to them. Listen, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. This is not for everybody. Thank God for the people that don't want to do what we do, because I need somebody that shows up and sits down at the bank every morning that, will deposit our checks. I need someone that's a nurse to take my blood pressure when I go to the doctor. Thank God. I need teachers to show up and teach my kids. Okay, so entrepreneurship is not for everyone. If you are wondering if my group is for you, I will tell you that if you're not a self-starter, it's not. It's not for you. It's not for you. I love you. If it is for you, I absolutely want you to join. I put the link in the top. But if you're an entrepreneur, you've got to be able to manage yourself. Do you know what I mean? It takes a lot of discipline to run your own business on days when you really don't feel like it. It takes a lot of discipline to understand that when the rest of the world is off, the week between New Year's and Christmas, that you might still have to do a little. It takes somebody that's really passionate about what they do to understand that when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to end up having to do some things you just don't want to do, but you have to in order to grow your business. And that's the truth. So, Mary, if you signed up last night or this morning or whatever, you would have gotten an email from me if you sign up for my inner circle. And it'll say, Mary, welcome. I'm so excited. And it'll have a little video of me. I'm probably looking a little cheesy. And it'll say you're going to be, it'll say click here to go to our Facebook group. And then I've got somebody that adds you to the group. When you get in the group, it's going to say, you can go to the top to the pinned post, and we have our schedule for the month. It'll tell you that we have a call at noon today. Why did my lighting just go weird? And then you can do, whoa. Sorry about that. I was trying to get the lighting and I hit the wrong button. Yeah, I don't know what's happening right now. I can't see a gosh darn thing. You can do a search in the group, Mary, for the hashtag training, and it'll give you all of the trainings that we've had so far this month. That's a little better, maybe. And then you can go up to the file section of the group, Mary, and you can get my Facebook Live training for free, my Pinterest training for free, my pricing training, and my perfectionism training, all for free. The library for the inner circle will be done hopefully by Valentine's Day. This is why we're shutting the doors tomorrow night. And then we're going to have the ability for you guys to find each other based on industry. So all my boutique owners can find all the other boutique owners. So all of my faux finishers can find the other faux finishers. So all of my wreath makers can find other wreath makers, and etc. And we're also going to be breaking you guys down according to state so that you can do meetups in wherever it is that you reside, if you would like to do that. And so I wish I could find, there we go. Okay, now we're back. And so, yeah, Mary, hopefully that is really helpful. Okay, what questions can I answer for you? Chrissy said, the only concern about my inner circle is that you may miss a lot. You're on Alaska time. Chrissy, nothing is live that you have to show up for. Ain't nobody got time for that crap. Listen, I've been in a lot of coaching groups that I waited until I listened to their trainings when I was on airplanes. I listened to it when I had a sick kiddo in the middle of the night. And I love it that way. So I've set up my inner circle. So if you want to be on the live call at noon today about Google Analytics, we'll take you. But 85% of them are going to catch the replay. And why? Because they're all out stinking working, which is what I want them to do. I don't want people hanging out in my Facebook group all day long, because you can hang out, you can learn, and you can hang out, and you can learn, and you can hang out, and you can post, and you can comment, and it's sweet, and it's precious, and you ain't making no money. And I need for you to be an entrepreneur that comes into my group, that gets what she needs or he needs, and that gets the heck out and goes and implements and makes some money for your family. So, are there authors and class creators in the group? Both, Leslie. Brooke says she's a replay viewer. Me too, babe. Shabby to Chic says she watches my trainings while she paints. Thank you. And yes, Amber, thank you. Amber is one of my stars over in my inner circle. And that's a great point. Check your spam folder, especially if you have Gmail. Your welcome email could have went to spam. Okay? So listen, I'm not trying to dissuade you from joining my inner circle. I just want you to know that if you're somebody that you're like, you're easily completely overwhelmed, you really don't have an idea of what kind of a business you want, and you really need somebody to tell you everything, then my inner circle is probably not the right place for you. But as soon as you figure those things out, come in. Okay, we'll reopen later in June. I'd prefer you to have an idea of what your business is. And I want you to be somebody who is able to actually come in, get what she needs, and then go out and do the work and implement. I don't want you to have to be, should I join for $47? Will it be a fit? Will it this? Will it that? Listen, I'm going to teach you how to rock your social media, how to use a website, how to do things like SEO. Next month, we have that mindset coach, my friend Dr. Samantha, who is a therapist, talking about how money stories affect every one of our businesses and why sometimes we make money and then we lose it, or we can't charge enough, or we have a hard time charging our friends and family, or every time tax season rolls around, we have panic attacks. Like, she's going to be talking about that. We have somebody in our group next month talking about the legal part of being a business owner online. And so those are all, I think, topics that every small business needs. Yes, I try to position it mostly for creative people, but we've got lots of different industries in there right now. So if there's any other questions that I can answer for you, please let me know. So I wanted to clarify about Etsy. If you're rocking Etsy, you rock it to the glory of God, okay? If you're not rocking Etsy, honey, get a website. We have a gentleman that makes websites for the people in my inner circle for $700, okay? So you have to be in my inner circle to get that sort of a price, but he just made my JenniferAllwood.com. He did. He made my JenniferAllwood.com, and it looks great. So what else was I going to say about that? I don't know. Just if you need website help, we can help you there, okay? Right, Amber? You got to have your own website. April says she's so glad she joined my group. I never want to leave. I'm so glad. Erica, we do have some furniture builders in there. Absolutely. Absolutely. But even if we didn't, I would hope that that would not stop you. I don't want you to go, Erica, where only the people in your industry are at. Also, I don't want you to not go where people in your industry are at, okay? Because anytime you're worried about too many other who's doing this in your industry and who's doing that, you're taking your eyes off your lane. And I want you to keep your eyes really focused on Erica's lane and what the Lord is calling Erica to do, okay? Jessica, same thing for you. Any crochet shops? I don't know. I don't know if there's any crochet shops. Why would that matter is my question. Isn't it funny what people ask? Like, it would never occur to me to ask if there were any other painters in a group before I joined a group that is designed to help painters. Does that make sense? Like, it wouldn't even occur to me. So dig really deep on why that's even a question. That would be one of my suggestions for you. Entrepreneurship is so much up here, you guys, and we play so many funny mind games with ourselves. Honestly, we play mind games. We don't want to join something because of so-and-so, or we do want to join something because of so-and-so. And at the end of the day, I want you to follow that gut feeling that God gave you in the pit of your belly, where he tells you what you need to do for your business. Okay? So bless you guys. I appreciate you. I am here to answer your questions. If you can think of anything else, holler. We are closing the doors tomorrow at midnight. And inevitably I'll get people on Thursday morning who will be like, I forgot to sign up. And then I'm going to say, I've got to keep it shut. So that's what we're doing. And we will not open until last week of May or the beginning of June again. So I'd love to see as many of you in there as possible. Bless you as you go about your day.